welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, I discussed the good, the bad, and the ugly of table tennis serves. Today, I want to delve into the nuances of ITTF service regulation. Rules are like laws, they should be crystal clear, simple, and straightforward. While most of the ITTF service regulations are well defined, there are some grey areas that often lead to confusion and misunderstandings. This video serves as a follow-up to my previous one, where I address common misconceptions about the legality of table tennis serves. We'll thoroughly examine each of the 7+1 service rules established by the ITTF in 2001. These rules remain relevant today, as they form the foundation of table tennis sports. Despite this, some may argue that few people, including the ITTF itself, pay much attention to the service rule anymore. Before we dive into the ITTF Regulation Codebook, let's warm up by reviewing some serves that are now considered perfectly legal in many international tournaments. Some disclaimer must be made first. The content of my videos is based on personal studies and experience. There is no intention of discrediting or offending any person or denying any other theoretical aspects. Your thoughts are very much welcome and please share in the comments below. Now let's continue with some tournament footage. Are all these services illegal? Well, due to the camera angle and also the video editing technique applied, it is hard to judge correctly. However, all these services should be considered very questionable and severe warning should be given by the umpire immediately at the very least. Something doesn't seem right here. Either the umpires weren't fulfilling their duties, or the ITTF regulation has become outdated, or perhaps my understanding of the rules is incorrect. The original ITTF regulation dedicates Section 2.6 to define proper and legal table tennis service. While some rules are self-explanatory and easy to understand, others are trickier and more ambiguous. Let's take a closer look at the ITTF service rules now. 2.6.1 Service shall start with the ball resting freely on the open palm of the server's stationary free hand. The term stationary free hand implies that the free hand must remain relatively motionless for at least a brief moment before initiating the service, no wiggling fingers allowed. Open palm indicates that the palm must be open, not necessarily flat, but certainly not closed, clawed, or curved. Additionally, it's crucial to note that the ball must not rest on any part of the fingers. Be careful, some umpires might not like this open palm style. Resting freely entails that the ball must not be grasped, hooked, or gripped by the fingers. A gentle breeze could easily dislodge the ball from the server's hand under this condition. The server shall then project the ball near vertically upwards, without imparting spin, so that it rises at least 16 centimeters after leaving the palm of the free hand and then falls without touching anything before being struck. When it comes to projecting the ball near vertically upwards, we begin to encounter the ambiguity of the rule's definition. If 45 degrees is neither vertical nor horizontal, then any angle above 45 degrees should be considered towards vertical. However, to achieve a trajectory that is near vertically, the ball's path must be at least 60 degrees or higher. The measurement of the trajectory angle should be based on the time the ball leaves the free hand and the time the ball reaches its highest point of the trajectory. Draw a straight line between these 2 points to find the angle. Some umpires believe that any trajectory below 60 degrees angle should be deemed a fault serve. But other umpires may treat 45-degree angle as the benchmark of illegality. Thus, this particular serve can be treated as fault serve or legal serve by different umpires. Additionally, the rule specifies that the ball must rise at least 16 centimeters after leaving the palm of the free hand. Not necessary 16 centimeters vertically, but traveling at upward trajectory for at least 16 centimeters before reaching its peak, provided the trajectory is near vertical upward. The 16 centimeters requirement applies to the entire upward journey of the ball after leaving the palm. It doesn't include the length or height of the movement of the palm. Moreover, clever players may attempt to deceive by initially raising the ball only a few centimeters before quickly removing their free hand, creating the illusion of meeting the height requirement. This tactic is not a display of skill or technique, but rather a form of cheating. In the future, I plan to create a video explaining the advantages of these illegal serves and their impact on the receiver. 2.6.3 As the ball is falling, the server shall strike it so that it touches first his or her court and then touches directly the receiver's court. In doubles, the ball shall touch successively the right half court of server and receiver. Rule number 2.6.3 is self-explanatory, nothing much tricky or misleading. 2.6.4 From the start of service until it is struck, the ball shall be above the level of the playing surface and behind the server's end line, and it shall not be hidden from the receiver by the server or his or her doubles partner or by anything they wear or carry. Throughout the entire service motion, from initiation to striking the ball, it is imperative that the ball remains above the level of the table and behind the end line. Therefore, any instance of tossing the ball below, inside, or into the table is considered a fault serve. It is important to mention that racket is allowed to cross into the end line after striking the ball. Moreover, the ball must not be obscured from the receiver's view by either the server or the server's doubles partner. It's essential to highlight 2 key points here. Firstly, all aspects of the server, including their attire and any items they carry, are considered part of the server. This means that the trajectory of the ball from the moment it is projected until it is struck must be visible to the receiver without any obstruction. Secondly, it's crucial to note that while hiding the serve from the receiver is prohibited, obscuring it from the umpire's view is permissible. In such cases, it is the receiver's prerogative to determine whether the serve was hidden. Many table tennis players are unaware of this right, and some umpires mistakenly believe that players cannot call for a service block. However, the truth is that the receiver has the right to raise their hand, a let call, cease receiving the service, and alert the umpire if they encountered service obstruction by the server or server's partner. Some clever players even use this privilege to disturb the opponent by wrongly accusing the opponent blocking service, as a result putting unnecessary pressure and trouble onto the opponent. Only umpire with good experience is competent enough to judge and punish the server correctly. 2.6.5 As soon as the ball has been projected, the server's free arm and hand shall be removed from the space between the ball and the net. The space between the ball and the net is defined by the ball, the net, and its indefinite upward extension. To clarify this rule, let's illustrate it with some diagrams of the service. It's crucial to focus on the timing of when the server removes their free hand. The question arises, what exactly constitutes as soon as the ball has been projected? It's common to observe many professional players keeping their free hand suspended in the air until just before they strike the ball with their racket. But which timing is qualified as soon as possible, or as late as possible? Perhaps we shall put the same question to the very critical moment of the following game here. 2.6.6 It is the responsibility of the player to serve so that the umpire or the assistant umpire can be satisfied that he or she complies with the requirements of the laws, and either may decide that a service is incorrect. If either the umpire or the assistant umpire is not sure about the legality of a service, he or she may, on the first occasion in a match, interrupt play and warn the server, but any subsequent service by that player or his or her doubles partner, which is not clearly legal, shall be considered incorrect. This rule is self-explanatory, but sadly few umpires have executed the rule properly these days. Here is an example that the umpire has rightly warned the server once, but never called for fault serve. Even the server ignored the warning and continued illegal or questionable service in many occasions. 2.6.7 Exceptionally, the umpire may relax the requirements for a correct service where he or she is satisfied that compliance is prevented by physical disability. The umpire is justified in relaxing the requirements for a proper service if the server has a physical disability. However, this relaxation should not be based on the server's reputation or world ranking. By now, you should have a solid understanding of both legal and illegal services. Additionally, as you can see, there are numerous ambiguities within the ITTF service rules, such as the requirements for a stationary arm, the ball resting freely on the open palm, the prompt removal of the free hand after projecting the ball, and even the precise measurement of 16 centimeters upward after the ball leaves the hand. These poorly written rules have led to confusion and misunderstandings among many players and umpires. In the next video, I will propose simpler and more straightforward service rules. This will make it much easier for umpires to identify illegal services, and players of all ages will enjoy mastering legal services, whether they are beginners, professionals, or casual players. In addition to Section 2.6, Section 2.9 of the ITTF regulation also contains relevant paragraphs regarding service rules. 2.9a Let. 2.9.1 The rally shall be a let. 2.9.1.1 If in service the ball touches the net assembly, provided the service is otherwise correct or the ball is obstructed by the receiver or his or her partner. You might be wondering why the ball could be obstructed by the receiver. This scenario arises in accordance with Rule 2.6.4, particularly when the receiver calls for a let because they believe the service has been concealed by the server, as previously explained. 2.9.1.2 If the service is delivered when the receiving player or pair is not ready, provided that neither the receiver nor his or her partner attempts to strike the ball. 2.9.1.3 If failure to make a service or a return or otherwise to comply with the laws is due to a disturbance outside the control of the player. 2.9.1.4 If play is interrupted by the umpire or assistant umpire. 2.9.1.5 if the receiver is in wheelchair owing to a physical disability and in service the ball, provided that the service is otherwise correct. 2.9.1.5.1 after touching the receiver's court returns in the direction of the net. For example, "2. 9.1.5.2 comes to rest on the receiver's court. Probably because the ball is broken or the table is wet or the table is dirty. 2.9.1.5.3 in singles leaves the receiver's court after touching it by either of its sidelines. For example, here you have it, all the ITTF service rules listed above, except for the rules regarding doubles play. Until next time, keep on ponging.